Hello everyone, and welcome you all to another chapter of the DaVinci Resolve Essential Tutorial. So now, here we are on our chapter number 13, and here I'll be showing you guys about the color correction in the DaVinci Resolve. Okay, so here in this particular class, we'll be learning about that thing. Okay, so let's not waste time and let's get started on learning color correction in DaVinci Resolve. So now, as you guys can see, I'm here in my DaVinci workspace, okay? And this is basically the color page, okay? So let me just give you guys a small introduction of this page, okay? And let me tell you that we'll just be covering the basics here. Okay, I'll just make you guys understand what it is all about. Okay, so first let's go to this edit page over here. Okay, so as you guys can see, I have just imported media over here, as you guys can see here in my preview panel. So in last class we talked about the fusion page. Okay, but here just after the fusion page I do have the color correction page. Okay, so DaVinci Resolve is basically known for its color correction capabilities, okay? And it is the best in the market available right now for the color correction in your video, okay? So as you guys can see here, it is a confusing layout, as you guys can see. Though, so this is basically the window, okay, where we'll be actually able to preview the work. And here, as you guys can see, as I have already told you in the fusion page, so from here also you guys will be able to make some graphs around, okay? And why we use color correction in the video, okay? So first off, we need to understand about that. Okay, so color correction is basically used if you want to add some emotion to your footage. Okay, so when your footage it's not in its original color, okay, so that means that we are trying to convey an emotion through our footage. Okay, suppose if I just put some dark color over here, okay, so in that case we need to understand that it is giving me some kind of a gloomy appearance. Okay, so if I just wanna increase the saturation, or if I just increase the contrast, if it's kind of in the bluish color side, so it just gives you vibe like it is somewhere cold. Okay, if I wanna increase the warmth, okay, in my footage, in that case I can actually give this thing somewhat yellowish color, okay, or orangish appearance. Okay, so it should convey a message when we are doing the color correction. Okay, so first off, what I will be showing you, this is the preview panel. This is where you will be working with the graph, and here this is the scopes. Okay, so basically from here also you guys will be able to change things out. Okay, as you guys can see, you guys can change this from here. Okay, you guys can see your color right over here. Okay, so let's start with the color wheels over here. As you guys can see, I do have a lot of options right around here. Okay, color match. These are different color wheels. Okay, so if you want to work with the dynamic range color wheels, you guys can come here. Okay, and this one is basically the RGB color mode. Okay, so this one consists of red, green, and blue. Okay, so that is the full form of the RBG. Okay, so here in your particular footage, if you want to increase it, okay, so if I just increase this particular part, as you guys can see, this part is changing. So if I just wanna give some coldish appearance over here, you guys can see it is just giving this one a bluish appearance here on my screen. Okay, so we can work out with this one. And next here, it comes the motion effects. Okay, if I do have created any motion effects in here, we can basically put all these things. Okay, so let me tell you guys, color correction is a vast topic to learn about. Okay, so here I'll be just giving you guys the essentials. Okay, so we won't be going through in detail. Okay, if you want to work on with the color curves over here, we can also work on with the color curves over here. Okay, and here comes the color wrapper, from where we can actually work on with the hue and saturation in detail. Okay, and from here as well, Okay, so once you know the basic about all of this, okay, we can dive later, okay, in some other tutorial about the advanced usage of all of this. Okay, so from here also you guys can actually use some mask around, okay, the radius. From here, you guys will be able to use some nodes and all, okay, where we'll be learning about this page as well. Okay, and here, if you want to work with some 3D animation, in that case, you guys will be able to do that from here as well. Okay, and this is the option for keyframing. Okay, I have actually give you guys a basic about keyframing, how you can use the keyframing in the DaVinci Resolve. Okay, so for me, I will come here. Okay, so here, as you guys can see, there are basically 4 options available in my color wheel. Okay, so what I can do is, suppose in this particular image, what I want is, or in this particular footage, I want the black color or the black appearances in my footage to be black, okay, and the white things to be kind of white over here. Okay, so that's about this thing. And from here, if I want to lift this thing up, okay, so if I just want it here, if I want to give some warmth to that. So as you guys can see, once I move here on this particular side, it's just changing the color. And once I'm changing the color, here also you guys are able to see that my color palette over here or this color graph is changing accordingly. Okay. And here, from here, you guys will be able to move this thing around. Okay. As you guys can see, it depends that if I am going to the right, it is focusing more on the whiter part. If I want to get the darker part more visible, I will just go to the left hand side over here. Okay, and the same way, this is the gamma ray. Okay, from here, what I can also do is I can just focus on the whites. Okay, so here you guys can see the white part will become more white. Okay, so it actually depends. There is no particular thing like, okay, you need to use this type of effects, or this is the value that you need to put, because it depends on footage to footage as well. It depends on the type of uh, footage or the type of camera I'm using while I am doing my color correction. Okay, so here this is the gain option. Okay, so from here as well, if I want to take it to some color, from here, as you guys can see, okay, and I can just move this thing around. Okay, so it is basically the whites over here. Okay, as you guys can see, it's more focusing on that, and this is the overall color of the image. Okay, so from here, as you guys can see, okay, I do have this thing right here. Okay, so this one was about this. And from here, if you want to change the hue and the saturation, okay, you guys will be able to change the hue and saturation from here. As you guys can see, if I just want to see the information about my video, I can also view it right from here. If I want to see the graph, I can just come and see the graph from here. Okay, and in the same way, if you want to give some shadows to it, okay, so you guys can give some shadows from here. Okay, if you want to give some highlight, you guys can give some highlight. Okay, and here, as you guys can see, I am focusing more on this particular icon over here, or the image. Okay, this person standing over here and there as well. Okay, and here, if I want to increase the hue over here, okay, I can increase the hue, okay, but I will just keep it somewhere here. Okay, and this is the lumetri mix. If I want to decrease this thing, I will be able to decrease the thing from here as well. Okay, suppose what I want to do is I just don't want this particular lift, okay, and I want to go back to its same position, okay, how it was before, or I want to change the gamma. So in that case, here you guys can see that I do have a reset button. What you need to do is to go back to its default positioning. You just need to click here in the reset. And as you guys can see, once I click the reset, it is back again at its same place. Okay, so here it will just change only the left. Okay, and everything else will remain the same. But again, I'll come here and I will just focus somewhere here. Okay, I will just make it darker. Okay, so the dark part, I want to make it more darker. Okay, and here I can also change the temperature. Okay, so basically if I come here, or if I just move my key to the right hand side, in that case you guys will be able to see that it will give me orange discoloration. Okay, here I am changing the temperature, and if I go back, it will just give me cold image. Okay, like it will just give me a cold temperature. Okay, which kind of looks like that. If you want to increase or work around with the tint over here, you can do that. You can also change the contrast somewhat over here, and if you want to change the mid-tone or the detail, okay, you guys can use this particular button right over here. So here, as you guys can see, okay, I have done some basic color correction using my color wheel. Okay, so what I can also do is, if I want to view it in this whole page, okay, so what I can do is I can click here, and now as you guys can see, I can just basically view this thing out, and from here I can just play my footage around. Okay, as you guys can see the changes, okay, how it actually works. Okay, we can actually view this one and work accordingly over here. And if I come here on the top, okay, if you want to view your timeline here as well, you guys will be able to view your timeline and just look around through your video. And if I don't want, I will just off this one. If I don't want to see my notes panel, I can just off the notes panel from here and directly into my color page. If I want to put on some effects, I can directly come here in the effects option, and from here I can choose the effects which I want to basically put. Okay, and there are different settings of that as well. Once I select any effect, suppose if I want to put any effect from here, and from here I can actually manage those settings. Okay, and here this is the light box again. Okay, so from here we can come and check our works, what all do we have over here. Okay, so that one is about the effects. And right here, as you guys can see, I do have if I do have any audio to it, okay, I can basically mute it for my preview over here. Okay, so this is the basic of the color correction panel. Okay, and this is a very basic which we have learned over here. Okay, and what you can also do is you can just off this one and on this one again. Okay, you guys can actually do this thing over here. Okay, so if you want to toggle bypass, okay, you guys can also do that. You guys will be also able to see the color changes which you have made here in your particular footage. So I hope you guys have now got a basic idea about the color page over here. So hope to see you all in the next chapter. Till then, take care and make sure to practice your color correction. Okay, there is a lot more in the color correction panel which you can actually work with. Okay, you can change the color in detail over here as well. Okay, but first make sure to master the basics. Okay, then you will be able to go and work in an advanced level in this color correction. So take care everyone, and goodbye. See you all in the next chapter.